There are 7 things that successful Shopify stores have in common. Do you have all of these for your Shopify store? Check them out. First up, the most important thing for any successful Shopify store is that it has product market fit. This means that there is demand for the products that you are selling at the price point you are selling them for. So, the old adage about selling ice to Eskimos, you don't want to do that. You don't want to sell the same product that's already in a marketplace or something to an audience of people that don't need what you are offering. Instead, sell those Eskimos some hot chocolate, put some whiskey in it, make it super exciting, give people what they want and need, and everything you do in your Shopify store will be so much easier down the line. So super important as you're building or growing your Shopify store that you are launching products that people have a need for at the price point you are selling. That is the most important thing for any successful Shopify store or any business in general. Second most important thing is that you've got a compelling brand story to tell on your Shopify store and through all of the marketing that you do. So as humans, we are emotional creatures. We make purchasing decisions based on psychological triggers and our emotions first, and then we back up that decision with logic afterwards. So we are designed to tell stories and to believe stories, and that's how we explain things to ourselves. That's how we connect with brands. So it's super important for any successful Shopify brand to have a compelling story that builds an emotional connection with your target audience, and then you tell that story every possible point throughout that purchase pathway. So on your website, through your email marketing, through your advertising, through your follow-up sequences. Every time you are connecting with a customer, it's important to communicate that brand story and weave that consistent story throughout everything you do. Third most important thing for a Shopify store to be successful is that you've got a well-designed, high-performing website. This means it's clean, it's not cluttered, the purchase pathway is very simple, it's easy to find products, your navigation makes sense intuitively, and there's not a lot of interruptions along the way. It's also important that your Shopify store loads quickly, it's not super heavy and takes a long time for people to load. It's important that it works great and looks great on all devices, mobile, iPad, desktop, everything. Super important. If people cannot check out, there are way too many options now where people will just go to a competitor of yours who has a functioning website that works. So make sure you've got a Shopify store that looks great and works well also. Fourth thing that successful Shopify brands have in common is marketing automation that converts. So in general, average e-commerce conversion rates are about 2%. Now that's across all industries, so there's a wide range there between Shopify stores. Typically, the more expensive and higher investment a product is, the conversion rate might be a little lower. For more transactional stores where the purchase price is a little bit lower and there's a lot of demand for your product, your conversion rate can be a lot higher. But let's go with 2%. That means 98% of people, when they come to your site, are not going to check out. So you want to be able to capture their customer information, their contact information, and follow up with them over time so that you can be in front of them when they are ready to make a purchasing decision and also influence that decision. This means email automations and flows, SMS flows. You also want to have automation that helps convert buyers to add more products to their cart. And then after they purchase, ideally, they can become lifelong customers and purchase time and time again. So you want to have automation that does all of that. That will make your life easier if you have these online automation that acts as your sales team 24/7. Fifth thing successful Shopify stores have in common is a full funnel marketing approach using a combination of paid social media along with search engine marketing. So what could this look like? Well, first of all, on your Shopify store, you need to drive traffic to your store in order to get customers. A full funnel marketing approach means that you are introducing your brand and your product to people at the top of the funnel, which means they're not aware of your product, they're not aware of your brand, and you want to get in front of them early in that purchasing decision. This might look like something like a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad. Once you get in front of them, over time, it's going to take several touch points in order to convert that person into a buyer. So there's lots of different ways you want to do that, but having a full funnel marketing approach where you're doing marketing on paid social, let's say Facebook, Instagram, and then over time, perhaps you're hitting them with organic social content, email newsletters, SMS messages, and then you also want to be able to capture that demand as they begin searching for your product on Google, possibly Bing as well. So a full funnel marketing approach takes into account that you are going to introduce your brand to people who have never heard of it before, and then over time guide people along that purchase pathway. So no matter where they are, when they're ready to make that purchasing decision, you are getting in front of them at the right time in the right place as well. This often means a multi-platform approach like social media, paid advertising, search engine marketing with Google or Bing, and lots of other stuff in the middle. Super important that you are continually adding people to the top of the funnel and then converting them at the bottom. The sixth thing that successful Shopify stores have in common is lots of social proof. Trust is super important for consumers. Too many people have been burned by bad businesses in the past. So the best way for consumers to trust your brand is to hear it from other people. So how can you do that? A couple ways. One, have a third-party review app. We love Judge Me, but there's lots of others out there where basically you can have star ratings on your product page, on your collection pages, on your homepage as well. And you want to feature real reviews from real customers. Show all of them, not just the good ones. Ideally, you have mostly good reviews. If not, take the bad reviews and use that to improve your business and product. Take it as good feedback, but show all of your reviews and respond to each of those. And over time, as you gather enough of those, people will see that a lot of people are purchasing your products, which is great. You also want to have an as featured on or as seen on section. So if your brand has been featured in any other publications, ideally big name publications, or at least big name publications in your niche, you want to feature those logos so that people see that other brands trust your Shopify store as well. In addition to that, video can go a long way towards explaining the benefits and features of a product. So you want to have video content on your product pages, potentially your homepage as well, highlighting a demonstration of your product. So you can do this yourself. You can also have customers do this. You can have influencers do it. There's lots of different ways to do it, but it's important that you have good video content where potential purchasers can see what your product does and why it will benefit them. Number 7 on the 7th thing that successful Shopify brands have in common is fresh, consistent, on-brand, organic social media content. So today, the consumer purchase pathway is much more complicated than it used to be because there are so many places where a brand can be. When people are researching your brand, they're gonna look on your organic social media content. They're gonna check you out on Instagram. They might check you out on Facebook. They might check you out on TikTok. They're gonna look at the platforms where they are and they're gonna see if you're there. If you are and you're providing consistent, really good content that reinforces your brand message, they're gonna be much more likely to purchase instead of them not being able to find you. Or if they find your account and you haven't posted anything in 6 months, that's gonna be a red flag to consumers. They might think, they might question whether you are a legitimate business, and if they order from you, if they will receive the product, if you're not posting content, they might not think that you're really up to date or that you're a thriving business. So those are the 7 things that successful Shopify stores have. Make sure you're including all of these. If you're starting a Shopify brand, if you're growing a Shopify brand, if you need help with any, hit up our team. We grow Shopify brands all day, and best of luck, and we'll see you on the next one.